How heavily are you influenced by others? That's what I want to talk about today. Each one of us is unique. We all come into this world with our own unique talents and gifts. And it's so wonderful when we can step into our own unique talents and gifts, right? We could say, oh my gosh, I'm really good at doing this, and I'm not so good at doing this, and I prefer to do this. So I'm going to allow myself to do less of this and more of this. When we do that, we're living our life authentically. And it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship with another person, a relationship in a business, a relationship in your career. It doesn't matter, a relationship with your children. It doesn't matter. When you are being stifled from living your authentic self, it doesn't feel, it feels heavy. It feels like there's something weighing you down. And if you've been experiencing that for many, many, many years, chances are you've lived with that heaviness for so long, you don't even recognize that it's something that you have the opportunity to let go of. So, what do I mean by the influence of others? It's one thing when someone suggests, hey, why don't you try that new place down the street? And, a restaurant. It was great. We loved it. And you say, oh, okay. So you're influenced and you go and you try it. Now, that's cool, right? That's cool. But what if you went to the restaurant, you tried it, and you really didn't like it? You didn't care for it. Not necessarily, just whatever reason you didn't care for it. Maybe you even didn't care for it because you were in, I don't know, a negative mood that day, or it just wasn't fulfilling what you were looking for. Now, here's the thing. When that person comes back to you and says, hey, did you try XYZ restaurant? Now, are you able to stand up and be your authentic you and say, yes, we tried it, and we weren't really that taken with it. I'm interested to see, what was it that you loved about it so much that maybe I might have missed? Or do you feel more compelled to say, oh, yeah, we tried it. It was great. It was great. It was fine. See, because most of us fall into the second category. We don't allow ourselves to be our authentic self because we're easily influenced by another person. And we learn this from childhood, right? When you're a child, you instinctively intuit how to move through your world with the least amount of challenge, the least amount of blowback, the least amount of resistance, the least amount of getting punished, right? Because as kids, we don't want to get punished for things. We want to be good girls, good boys. We want to make our parents happy. We want to do what they tell us to do because we want to feel those, those congratulations from your parents, love, hugs, kisses, or just however you were parented. As children, we're always seeking that approval. Look at me. I'm good, aren't I? I did a good thing, didn't I? And the thing is we learn that in childhood, and then we bring it with us into adulthood. And if that need isn't being fed, then we will tend to be more influenced by others because we want to fit in. We want to feel like, okay, we're not the odd man out. But if you weren't taught to accept your uniqueness, if you weren't taught to accept that you are authentic and why you are authentic, then as adults, it can be difficult for us to really shine, to really know, like, you know what? This is awesome. This makes me feel awesome. And I love sharing this. And I love doing this. Now, especially if you have decided to create an income stream around something that you really do. If you're going to call it a business, an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever, a hobby, whatever you're going to call it. Now, this is where your levels of self come in, right? Because if you're feeling low levels of self, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, low self-image, low self-love, low self-worth, you're going to be easily influenced by others because you want to fit in. You want that positive acclamation, right? You want that positive, you want that feedback, that positive feedback. Now, here's the thing, feedback is great, feedback is wonderful, but it's important for us to allow feedback without being influenced. Are you really able to check in with your internal guidance system? Remember, I talked about that in a couple videos ago. And just check in with yourself and say, does this feel right? Does this feel good to me? Or does this feel like I'm forcing it, or I'm shoving it, or I'm pushing it, or um, I'm resisting, but I'm going to go into it because that's what everybody keeps telling me. And this is where people talk about shiny object syndrome, because whatever energy you're sitting in right now, where you're not allowing yourself to be your authentic self, now you're struggling and you're finding challenges. And so you think you're doing something wrong. You think you don't have enough knowledge, um, enough certificates, enough letters after your name. You think that there's something that you have not yet reached or gained. And so you're constantly looking for, oh, then maybe I need to do that. And, oh, well, that person said that made them really successful, so I'm going to go after that. And instead, when you can roll it back and sit in with your own authenticity and feel, okay, what do I want to do? What feels right for me? Now, here's the thing. You might say, oh, but what if that feels right to me, but it's not going to let me grow or expand or be as successful as I want to be? The thing is, on our journey to life, we are never going to arrive, because life is a journey, right? It's not a destination. It's not like when I get there, then everything is perfect. Think about it. It's like shoes, right? Every person has more than one pair of shoes. You have sports shoes, good shoes, shoes with high heels, shoes with low heels. You have shoes for when you gaining weight, shoes for when you lose weight, shoes for when you go to the beach. We have all different kinds of shoes. So it's like you're never going to be satisfied to stay at this level, because every level you reach is like, yes, I got here. And then instantly, right? We are life forward people. We're like, what's next? That felt awesome. What's next? What else? What's coming next? So give yourself permission to be wherever you are. And just say, what if you just said to yourself, you know what? I am an authentic being, and I know that what I'm doing really matters. And because it matters, there are people out there who are going to take in what I'm doing and need what I'm doing right here, right now, right where I am. Because even a first grader can teach a kindergartner, right? A senior in high school can teach a junior high school person. It doesn't matter what level you are. What matters is if you are rocking the level that you are and being your authentic self and making sure that the influence of others is not pulling you out of authenticity. If you have any questions on this and you'd like some answers, please visit masteringyourbeliefs.com. There's something there for every level of self that you are. And if you have any questions, remember, ask your sensei. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao.